just broke my sewing machine. Like, for real. Luckily, I have a second sewing machine that is currently with a friend. She's gonna bring it to me tomorrow because I need it, because I have lots to do this week. I'm so annoyed that this just happened, like I can't tell you. So basically I sewed over a needle, which I've done about 28,000 times in the last 15 years. And now for the 28,000th and first time this happened. I'm not even sure I sewed over a needle, but it's the only explanation I have. I was trying to sew in a sleeve and the machine just jammed like real hard, and it was just trying to get out of it, but it couldn't. It was really not nice to watch. And then the bobbin case, I think what's the bobbin case, just permanently tilted backwards now. It was so violent, the jam, that it just tilted that piece backwards. So it's pretty broken. Folks, I managed to repair my sewing machine. It works again. I'm so happy. I was like sure this was totally ruined. I was sure there was something broken in it that needed to be replaced. So I reached out to Sewing Machines Direct, which is a UK website where I actually bought my machine from. I remembered that they had a repair service, so my thinking was I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna organize a pickup so that they can bring it to their workshop and repair it. So I called there and this lovely lady picked up, and she seemed like not a lot of people usually call for repairs. I mean, I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what she sounded like. So she was like, oh, okay, so you bought this with us? And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm calling. And she was like, oh yeah, so please text Dave on WhatsApp. Do you have WhatsApp? And I was like, yeah, I have WhatsApp. Please text Dave under this number. So she gave me his number and I was like, okay, cool, thanks, I'm gonna text Dave, thinking, sure, like I'm gonna text Dave and then what's gonna happen then, right? And then actually Dave came back to me and he just started fixing my machine from afar, like telling me what to do. He was sending me short video clips and told me what to do step by step. I think I was on the phone with him back and forth, texting back and forth for about an hour and a half now. And now my sewing machine works again. He totally diagnosed it just from the images I sent him. He saw things that I didn't see on the images. Yeah, so this part, which is like the bobbin case. Yeah, so the bobbin case has like a perforation from your needle. Grab your nail buffer and try to buff it down. And I was like, damn, how did he see that? I didn't even see that. Anyway, it is fixed now. Shout out to Dave from sewingmachinesdirect.co.uk. I can really recommend them. That was an ace service. It is now the end of the day. This day didn't go as planned, to say the least. I'm gonna now, what am I gonna do now? Not much, to be fair. I think I'm gonna try and finish up the View B version of my dress, as in like just sew in the sleeves and attach the skirt proper, because this doesn't really need to be in the tutorial. And then I'm going to continue filming the tutorial for View A tomorrow. But I'm so happy that my machine works, that I don't have to send it anywhere. This would have been a serious delay. Hello. So today is February the 24th. It's a Friday. Yesterday my MDF sheets arrived. So this weekend we're gonna actually put together the sewing station. The MDF sheets for my new sewing station just arrived. And look at this beautiful oak veneer. It looks really pretty. Can't wait to see it in the space. And I am now just about to head out to get the paint that I want for the back wall. So there are a few ideas and a few concerns, which are so the place that I'm in currently is a rental, so I can't do much about the decor of the place. As you might be able to see behind me, the walls are white. They skew light gray. They have like a bluish undertone, I would say. And in the room, well, the room isn't really decorated. There's a lot of stuff floating around here because we just don't have enough storage, so things are just sitting in a place. But I do have a few greenish accents here. I have a green lamp and I have a pretty green pot with a plant in it, but that's about it. And then you can see behind me there's the black mirror, which I think I'm gonna mirror the black mirror in the hardware that I'm choosing for the wall, which is the railing where the camera and all of that stuff is gonna sit on. But now the question is, what color do I paint the back wall, where the pegboard that's gonna go onto the back wall? So I had a look at Little Green, which is a UK paint company that I really like, and they have lots of beautiful colors. And I went also to the store to have a look in person, and the thing that I'm landed on so far is this beautiful, what's called bone china blue, and they have it in various different shades. So I think I'm gonna go for bone china blue faint because I don't want the wall to be too dark because the space doesn't have that much light anyway. Well, it does have much light, but that corner doesn't have much light, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna be careful with the depth of the color, so to speak. So this is the idea right now. We have the bone china blue in the MDF back wall, and then that was the plan basically. I didn't think I would add anything to that. Then I saw this beautiful rust red color that is just such a nice contrast to the blue, and it brings a little bit of warmth into the design. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do the tiniest decorative border around the perimeter of the MDF sheet, and maybe also around the pegboard, because the pegboard is going to be the exact same color as the MDF sheet, and maybe with that like line around it I can give it a bit more dimension and a bit more interest. And I think the colors really skew retro 70s, which I think is cute, and they are a nice contrast to the oak veneer of my tabletop. So that is the plan right now. So yeah, the store's already open. Let's just head there. For real? That's the weirdest pink color I've ever heard much about this color from Alexandra Gator. Okay, so got all the goods. Took me a while to get everything I needed, but I had a good conversation with the sales person in the shop, and they gave me some good tips. So basically the first thing I need to do is to prime my MDF sheet, because MDF is porous and otherwise it's going to soak up all the color, or it's, you know, I don't know. He said I need to prime it, so I bought this primer here. And then in terms of color, I landed on bone china blue, the straight up bone china blue, because there's a light and there's a faint. So yesterday evening I was thinking I was going to go for the faint color, but then seeing it in the store, it was really faint. So I thought it would get lost and maybe it would be a waste of money, so I went for bone china blue. Unfortunately, that's the smallest size they had. This is 1 liter, so I have plenty of bone china blue if I want to do any other DIY projects. Here it is. This was not cheap. This was 37 pounds for 1 liter of paint, but okay, we're committed. And then I just got this tester size for bronze red. The color that I looked up online, which was called Heat, was like striking orange. It didn't look like on the inspo pics, really. It was bright orange. So I went for this instead. I know this looks very red right now, but I think based on the sample in the store, it's gonna dry quite dark and more like a rusty red, which is what I was looking for. And then I got this kit here and a brush. So I hope this is everything I need. I need to do 1 coat of primer and at least 2 coats of paint, he said. So this will probably take me the whole day. I think my day is gonna be an interchanging of painting and editing current videos. So let's go. Could I be any happier with this color? I don't think so. It's so good. I love that I went with this bone china blue and not with the faints or lights or whatever, because those would have been too light. This is just such a pretty shade of a greenish blue. So I did 2 coats of primer, which was exactly the amount I had. So that panned out perfectly. This is now the first coat of paint. I'm also going to give the pegboard a first coat of paint, and then I let it dry, and then both of these get a second coat of paint. So the second coat is now dry, and now I'm gonna work on the sides. Okay, so yesterday was install day. So you can see behind me, we have the table and we have the wall up with the pegboard. Now let me show you what the back looks like. So we have this MDF wall, and what we decided to do now was to attach these metal bars in the back to make sure that the MDF wall doesn't bend, because that's what it did before. I wanted to avoid that. And then the other thing that we did is we bought these Velcro command strips. So once we push it to the wall, I can remove this side and then attach it to the wall without using any screws, because this is a rental. I can't do that. We also have these spaces here to make sure we're not scratching too much off of the wall. And eventually when I remove this, this will probably take off the paint here, but we've lived here for a long time and the walls need to be repainted anyway. As you can see up here, we just did this, but there are other like issues with the wall that need to be sorted out. So yeah, I'm not too worried about this. So I clearly have a lot of lighting equipment and the thing that holds my camera, the rig that holds my camera. Now the question is, how do we put that back onto my workstation? So this is what obviously the front looks like, and I ordered this towel rack, which is black, and it's going to go on here. And this is where I can attach my lights and my camera rig with the clamps that come with it. So we now have all of the things that we need to finish this, and I'll show you once it's done. guys, this is it. This is the final result. Let me know what you think. I'm really super pleased with it. I have been working on this new setup now for a couple of weeks and I can report back that it works really well. I am so pleased that we were able to come up with this concoction without actually screwing any screws into the wall, because like I said, I'm in a rental, so I'm not allowed to put anything on the walls really. So all this is the table, the MDF sheet on the back of the table which is screwed onto it. And then we have the metal bars that are screwed onto the MDF in the back to really keep it upright and really sturdy. And on those we have some command strips which are stick to the wall, and that's about it. And you can remove those when you move out, so that's really it. And this is really sturdy. I'm very surprised. So I'm gonna shake it now. What you're gonna hear is actually the pegboard moving, but the MDF sheet isn't moving. So when I do this, it's really sturdy and it's not gonna fall over or anything, so I'm very pleased with that. I'm super pleased with my setup here. So I have some sewing threads here. I have these little shelves which hold things like my pins and my tape measure or sticky tape and things like that. And then I have all sorts of little containers here that hold buttons or elastics or press-a-foots and bobbins. Here are all of my little tools that I use: small scissors, tweezers, seam rippers, all that kind of stuff. My pens are here, and this little basket holds my keyboard, my mouse, adapters that I need for my computer. So I'm really pleased with this, and the way I use it at the moment is when I work during the week, I can just push back my sewing machines and they're out of the way and have lots of space to work with my laptop open. I have my power coming from back here because I have little plugs in the tabletop, so this works extremely well for me. If I want to sew, I can just push this back and push my sewing machine forward like that, so you can see the cables coming out here on the side. And that's about it. What I'm also very pleased with is my little towel bar up here, which holds all of my lights and my phone. So when I'm in tutorial mode, this is where you guys sit. So my phone is up here as well as my little microphone, and you can see everything I'm doing on my table. That's it. I'm really pleased with it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the color choices. I know this might not be everybody's cup of tea, especially with the red border around it, but it's so subtle you can hardly see it, and I think it's just a little cute point of interest. And that's it. So if you live in a rental and you sew from your bedroom, get yourself something like this. This works really well.